Hello class 6 students. Today I will start the first chapter of your book, that is the leaf. In this chapter, first of all we will explain what is the structure and function of leaf, then different types of leaves, its venation, then arrangement of leaves, that is also known as phyllotaxy, and after that at last we will discuss different experiments that is demonstrated on the leaves. So first of all, we should study about the structure and function of leaf. So before starting structure of leaf, I want to explain you what is leaf. And I think leaf is the very common structure, and the plant is only the very common structure that we see around us. Different types of plants we have seen, and before starting leaf, we will start to the structure of plant. So structure of plant is generally divided into two parts, that is the root system and the shoot system. Root system, that is found below the soil, this is known as root system, and the part of the plant that is present above the soil, it is known as shoot system. So in the shoot system, leaf is a green broad structure that originates from the node part of the stem. So leaf, I think you all are familiar from this structure. So leaf can be defined as flat, green, broad structure grows from the node. This is the point from where the leaf originates or grows. Now, the leaf that is the broad structure, green structure, and its main function is photosynthesis. I have drawn this diagram here. You have to draw the diagram in your copy, and afterwards I have explained each and every part of the leaf. You have also write the part of the leaves, and point wise you have to write about the function of each part of the leaf. So the first part I will explain here, that is the leaf apex. This is the leaf apex, means tip of the leaf, and this leaf is joined or attached to the stem. This point is known as node, and this structure, with this structure it is attached with the stem. So this structure is known as petiole. This structure is known as petiole, and petiole, the function is, it is the stalk of the leaf, and it keeps the leaves attached to the stem or the plant. Now this portion is known as midrib. This portion is known as midrib, and this is the continuation of petiole. Petiole remain continuous in the leaf in the form of midrib, and this flat portion, broad portion of the leaf is known as leaf base or lamina. Leaf base or lamina. Now this is this leaf. On this leaf, this main vein is further divided into some side veins, and these side veins are known as veinlet, and the function of the main vein is to conduct water, minerals, and food also. So we can say that the veins are the lateral branches of the midrib and perform the conduction of water and minerals, and also perform translocation of food. Now we will discuss node point. Already we have discussed that this is the point from where the leaf grows. Now structure is clear, and we can define this structure as flat, green, and broad structure grows from the nodes. And now we will discuss function of the leaves. So before discussing function, I just want to explain one thing. I have written here the leaf is the green structure, but it is not always green. Sometimes some patches or different colors are present on the leaves. So this type of leaves are known as variegated leaves. This type of leaves are known as variegated leaves when different color of patches are present. So I have collected this type of leaf. So it is clearly visible, I think, this type of leaf where different patches, different color of patches are present on the leaves. And this is also another example where different colors patches are present on the leaves, and this type of leaves are known as variegated leaves. So money plant leaves are also the example of variegated leaves, because here pale yellow color or creamish color patches are present on the leaves. So this type of leaves are known as variegated leaves. So different color are also present on the leaves, but green color is mainly due to the presence of chlorophyll. Now we will discuss about function of leaves. The main function of leaves are written here. The first function is photosynthesis, then gaseous exchange through stomata, transpiration. Fourth is modification of leaves into spines, tendrils, or modified structure to trap insects. Then fifth function is vegetative propagation. So all these functions I will discuss here in detail. The first one is photosynthesis. So as we know, plant has the capacity to prepare its food, and this process of preparation of food is known as photosynthesis. This photosynthesis is done in the broad green portion of the leaf with the help of chlorophyll and in the presence of sunlight. During this process, plant absorb water and minerals from the soil. So photosynthesis, we have understood that this function can be performed in the leaf part with the help of chlorophyll. So this is the main function of leaf. Another function is gaseous exchange through stomata. So during photosynthesis or respiration, plant need different types of gases. For example, during photosynthesis, plants require carbon dioxide from the environment, and during respiration, it requires oxygen. So these gaseous exchange, that means during photosynthesis and respiration, when plant require different gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, this is received by the stomata. And not only this, after these functions, different types of gases are also liberated. These are oxygen. During the photosynthesis, oxygen is liberated, and during respiration, carbon dioxide is liberated from the plant. So these gases exchanges are done with the help of stomata. And these stomata are present at the back side of the leaf. So back side, as we are able to see, this skeleton structure is present that I have explained here. This is midrib, and from there many ventlets are coming out. So this type of structure can be seen backside, but stomata is not it cannot be seen. But stomata are the small pores through which gaseous exchange occurs. So the third function is transpiration. Transpiration is the process in which the excess water is released through the stomata in the form of water vapor. Now I will discuss fourth function, that is modification of leaves into spine, tendrils, or modified structure to trap insect. So leaves are modified sometimes into spines to prevent the excess loss of water. For example, I have collected one cactus leaf. This is the stem of cactus, and here leaves are Here I think this structure is clearly visible, and here the structure is present on the stem. This structure is spines, and this spinous structure, I want to tell you here, the leaves are modified into spines or thorns, and these thorns just prevent the excess loss of water. And this fleshy structure, what is visible here in front of the camera, you are able to see this fleshy structure is the stem. Here stem is modified into fleshy structure, and photosynthesis is done by the stem only, because this part becomes green due to the presence of chloroplast. So photosynthesis is done by the stem, and leaves are modified into spines for its prevention of loss of excess water. Now the next modification is tendril. So sometimes leaves are modified into tendrils. This is spring-like structure, I think, and it is visible. And see this structure, this is tendril. So in this structure what happens, the leaves are modified into this structure so that it will provide the support to the plant. These are climbers, and in this structure will help the plant to climb on the support, and in this way it will provide support to the plant. Now the another modification is to trap the leaves. Sometimes leaves are modified into different structures to trap insects, and this I will discuss in a video where you will be able to see how the leaves are modified to trap insects. And generally leaves trap insect to fulfill its nitrogen requirement. Now I will discuss the fifth point, that is vegetative propagation. Vegetative propagation means as we know, plant increases its number with the help of asexual or sexual reproduction, but sometimes the leaves are also possessing the capacity to reproduce. That means to increase the number. The one example of this is bryophyllum. Bryophyllum leaves have the capacity to increase the number. This is the bryophyllum leaf, and in this leaf it has some birds originates from the notches present on the leaf. See, from here the birds will appear, and this bird will grow into small plantlets, and when this plantlet falls on the soil, and this becomes a new plant like a structure. So in this way vegetative propagation occurs in bryophyllum. So what I have shown here, that was the leaf of bryophyllum, and here in this leaf you are able to see the root like structure that is arising from the notch of the leaf. So this root like structure, it gives rise to small plantlets, and when this plantlet fall on the soil, it becomes it just converts or appears into a new independent plant like structure. So I have collected different types of leaves for showing you, and the one more thing that is left, I have to explain here venation. So venation, venation means arrangement of veins on the leaves. As I told you, on the leaves different types of veins are arranged differently. Veins are arranged differently. So I will discuss here arrangement of veins on the leaves, and this arrangement of veins are known as venation. So venation is of two types. These are reticulate venation and parallel venation. Venation are of two types, reticulate venation and parallel venation. Reticulate venation can be seen in all the dicotyledonous plants. Dicotyledonous plants means the seed having two cotyledons are known as dicotyledonous plants. So it can be seen in all the dicotyledonous plants. Now what is reticulate venation? Reticulate venation means when the veins form a network like a structure, then it is known as reticulate venation, as you can see in the peepal leaf or other simple leaves. So I have collected for showing reticulate leaf here by the peepal leaf, and then I will show you parallel venation in banana leaf. In the banana leaf, parallel type of venation is present in which the veins are present parallelly. I think it is clearly visible for you where the veins are parallelly arranged. So all these veins are parallelly arranged. So this type of venations are known as parallel venation. So I think these all points are clear for all of you. What are the structure of leaves, what is the function of different types of different portion of the leaves. I have clearly mentioned here: leaf base, leaf apex, leaf margin, midrib, vein, veinlet, petioles, and each of these structures function also I have mentioned here. So you have to write in points, and then what is the function of leaf, and what is venation, what are the different types of venation. So I hope all these points are clear. So dear students, till now you have learnt this leaf is a flattened green structure. It arises from the node of a stem or its branches. Leaves differ in shape and size. The flat green part of a leaf is known as leaf blade or lamina. It is attached to the stem by means of a short stalk called the petiole. The region of attachment of leaf with the stem is called leaf base. The leaf blade has many fine veins forming a network throughout its body. The arrangement of veins in the leaf blade is called venation. Leaves contain a pigment called chlorophyll. This pigment imparts green color to the leaves. Leaves showing two types of venation, that is reticulate venation and parallel venation. Now we will study about different types of leaves. There are mainly two types of leaves: simple leaves and compound leaves. So what is simple leaf? The leaf with a single lamina, as in mango, castor, cotton, China rose, is called a simple leaf. In a simple leaf, axillary bud is found. The leaf in which lamina is cut into a number of small leaflets on a common stalk is called a compound leaf. For example, rose, neem, tamarind, so compound leaves. Leaflets do not bear axillary buds in compound leaves, but in simple leaf it has an axillary bud. The stalk of compound leaf is called rachis, which has an axillary bud, but in simple leaf the stalk remains continuous in the form of midrib. So now, my dear students, we will study leaf phyllotaxy. What is leaf phyllotaxy? This is the arrangement of leaves. Leaves are arranged in various ways on the stem. The arrangement of leaves on the stem is called phyllotaxy. The main aim of phyllotaxy is to expose all the leaves of the plant to maximum sunlight and air. There are mainly three types of leaf arrangements, and these arrangements are known as alternate arrangement, opposite arrangement, and whorled arrangement. In alternate arrangement, a single leaf arises at each node and the next leaf arises on opposite side of the previous leaf. Example is mango, sunflower. In opposite leaves, two leaves arises at each node opposite to each other. Example is Calotropis, guava. In world arrangement of leaves, more than two leaves arises at the each node and are arranged in a whorl or a circle. Example is oleander, asparagus, or in common life we would have seen cannel plant. This is also the example of whorled arrangement of leaves. Leaf also shows different types of modifications to perform different types of functions. So now we will study about modifications of leaves. In xerophytic plants like cactus and opuntia, the leaves are modified into spines, as in prickly pear also. These spines check the loss of water from the plant body and thus help in the plant to conserve water. Now another example we will take, that is of sweet pea or garden pea. Some leaves are modified into thin coiled thread-like structure that is known as tendrils. These help the plant in climbing. Now we will see some examples in which leaves starts storage of food, as in onion. The fleshy leaves store food materials. In some plants, the leaves are modified to trap insects. Such plants are called insectivorous plants. Example, pitcher plant, Drosera, Venus flytrap, and bladderwort. Now we will see some videos on these insectivorous plants. These videos are very interesting. You watch the video. Now the video is showing Venus flytrap. Leaf blade is divided into two parts and midrib acts as a hinge. Leaf edges develop long pointed hair. When an insect is caught, the leaf suddenly closes and prevents the insect from escaping.
This fly has to tread carefully. If it strikes one hair, it can carry on feeding, but a timer has been set. A second strike in less than 20 seconds and the fly is doomed. An electrical impulse is triggered and the leaf snaps shut in just a fraction of a second. The tips lock together like prison bars. If the fly is very big or very small, it may just manage to escape. But most are trapped and die. Ten days later, the trap reopens. All that remains is a husk. The plant has finished its meal and resets itself for its next.
Now, in this presenting video, it is showing Drosera, that is also known as sundew. The main characteristic feature of this plant is tentacles, that is to contact with edible prey. Here, the prey, when it comes, with the help of tentacles, it is caught and then it is eaten by the plant. With the help of tentacles, the prey is captured and it prevents the insect from escaping. It also secretes some digestive juices that helps in the digestion of insect. Now the red color tentacles is clearly visible, that is catching the insect and preventing it from escaping. So in this videos we have studied about insectivorous plant. Now my dear students, we will watch pitcher plant. Here leaves are modified into pitcher and in this insect is caught and prevented by escaping. In this, the pitcher plant is dissected by a person and to see what is inside, and inside some digestive juice and some insects, wasps are there. I hope you have understood the entire chapter. If you have any confusion, you write directly in the comment box or on the Campus Care app. And thank you for watching the video.